All right, perfect. Hello, and thank you everybody for joining today. Today we'll be talking about some of the new ways of conducting business and the way my team and I actually are changing the ways we're doing business in today's market. So first of all, I hope everybody is safe. I hope everybody is staying home, taking care of themselves, taking care of their families. And the same time, for all the people who are affected with this virus, I pray for all of you guys to have a quick recovery and get back on track. And God will, we'll get back on track as well as a country and as a whole world as well. So keep those prayers going, and hopefully we'll get through this very soon. In the meantime, I just want to discuss with you some ideas about where we're at in today's market. And again, these things are what I'm doing with my team. It's really a personal opinion based on some facts, based on some research, and based on some trial and error as well. And we've had success doing what we're going to share with you right now, and that's the only way we'll actually share it with you. We wouldn't talk about it unless we're actually doing it. It's actually working for us. So just to start off, pretty much just make sure everybody is aware that the way that we were conducting business last month and 2 months ago is completely changed. And I really hope that everybody is aware that even when we're back on track with our lives, the business gonna change, the industry gonna change, and the entire world is as well facing some changes as a whole world. So I really hope that us as a real estate community, we don't really expect for things to just get back to the same way it was 2, 3 months ago, and we're not just sitting down kind of waiting for it to go back the way it was before. There's always a shift, and there's always shift, and this is one of the shift in the market as well as in the way we're conducting business. And from my point of view, I do believe we're actually overdue for this kind of changes. And unfortunately, something uh, drastic had to happen like this for those changes to be enforced and to be adapted very quickly. So again, for you who doesn't know, who we are. We are GK Realty Group. We are a company based in Broward County. We do cover 3 county, Palm Beach, Broward County, and Miami-Dade. We serve people pretty much, locally. People are trying to relocate locally, and we have a lot of clients actually from a different state and different countries. And that's why we kind of had a small taste of uh, doing things virtually and closing transaction, helping homeowner buy and sell without even meeting them prior to this epidemic even happened. So even before that, last year we've had multiple deals, multiple transactions where we actually met the owner or the new buyer or the seller only at the closing table. I've had transaction personally where I don't even know the face of my client. I listed their properties, I sold their properties, multiple properties. They closed, they gave me great reviews, and honestly, till now, if I see them, I don't even know that this is my client. So it's amazing how the world is given, how the world is really advancing to this point where we really can conduct business virtually. We can help homeowner pretty much all around the world without even have to physically be sitting in front of them. So a couple of weeks ago till now, we've been as a company and as a team, we've been completely 100% virtually in terms of our meetings, in terms of for the most part meeting with clients. We've done so many virtual listing presentation and buyer consultation as well. And today I'm going to bring on board Andres Torrente, who's actually he's on board with my team. Andres is my top producer. He's a very hard working person. Great thing about him, he's very quick to adapt. And you definitely saw him on Instagram and on Facebook. You've pretty much saw him all over social media giving tips about buying and selling a property. Uh, Last year, we helped about 80 family sell and buy and do some kind of transaction in the real estate industry. So, and last week, actually, we had a great success with a fully virtual listing presentation, listing signing, and marketing the property, which already started. So I'm gonna bring Andres on board for him to tell you all about it. Andres, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, George, for having me. Yeah, to add a little bit to that listing presentation that we just had, not only the presentation, but from the very beginning, just a little bit of background story for everybody to know. This client came referred to me from my SOI. After that, we did have a couple conversations through the phone as usual, but um, after this virus broke out, obviously, we tried to avoid as much human contact as possible. So what we did is we set up the meeting through Zoom with George, the client, and myself. We discussed the entire listing presentation and what the team was capable of doing. Obviously, the key part was that we hadn't seen the property by then. Now, thankfully, the property is vacant. So what we did is he provided access to the property. We didn't even meet with him. He kind of just like left the key there. We went, picked it up, saw the property, then got in another Zoom meeting, and worked out the numbers that he wanted to work with, and everything was pretty much set and ready to go. Marketing department, pretty much the same thing. I met quickly with the photographer and everybody who was going to take care of the marketing for the property. 6 feet away, just quickly opened the door, and that was pretty much it.
That's awesome. So, Andres, you mentioned you spoke with this person multiple times before, and again, everybody is asking the same question. I mean, are people still selling? So, what do you kind of tell realtors out there who they have clients who they're kind of afraid of listing their properties because they really want to be in a full isolation in the meantime, which again I completely respect and I suggest, and let's hope that we'll get this over with very soon. So what do you tell people actually, realtors or sellers who are still out there, they still would love to cash out on their investment or property or whatever the case it is right now, but they're just you know they don't want to do it because of they don't want to meet with people like you, like me, or even buyers.
Yeah. So, like you said, we totally respect anybody who doesn't want to show the property because of the fact that they are living in the property and they don't feel comfortable with showing the property to different buyers a couple times a day. That's understandable. Anybody understands that. However, there is a great opportunity for a lot of sellers that have the luxury of having a vacant home, or that they don't mind as much, that they're younger, they're healthier, and they don't mind quickly stepping out of the home. I've seen a lot of the showings where the sellers require for the people that are coming into the property, people coming into the property, I mean the realtor and obviously the buyers, to wear booties for the shoes,
Okay.
called, to wear masks and even gloves. And honestly, I don't see anything wrong with that. You're letting them into your house. You're just asking them to provide that for you, and the buyer agent should be able to provide that. Now, these are kind of steps that people are taking just to be careful. Now, the upside for the seller is obviously that there are not as much competition inside of the neighborhood, again, because some people don't have the luxury to do that. For example, George, you and I just met with the older clients down in Plantation a couple weeks ago. They don't have the luxury of doing that. They're older. The husband does have previous conditions. They don't have the luxury of doing these things. So again, we respect those type of decisions and clients, but for those people that do have the luxury and advantage, I would say, of being able to list the property now when there's less competition out there, and we know buyers are still looking, buyers are still trying to take advantage of the interest rates. It's a great opportunity for sellers, I think.
Okay, so just to step in really quick and mention a little bit about who really we're talking about. Over here, we're not asking, we're not in any kind of shape or form trying to tell realtors to push their client to sell their properties because it's a great opportunity. Again, there's some priority in this, with people, and I believe health should be and always should be the number one priority for everybody. We're talking about vacant properties, or even properties that the client, the seller, feels comfortable having people walk in their houses, but again, with an extreme amount of being, being caution over pretty much everything. So I do have a client right now. Actually, they're a little bit older, and we're still on the market. We're still showing the property, and again, the buyer is asked to just pretty much, walk to the property wearing, all the protection that you just mentioned. In the same time, we're advising the buyer and their realtor not to touch anything in the property. So basically, you just walk through. Now, when it comes to the inspection, we always conduct those within 15 days. So in a way, the buyers as well understand that it's more of a little bit of a different situation, that if they really want to buy and they still want to invest in today's market, they can't expect, for the most part, to have the freedom pretty much of doing what they were doing 2 3 months ago. And again, which I understand, which opening cabinets, touching things around, feeling more comfortable. Even the buyer, I kind of reserve to do these kind of things as well. So going back to our subject, so tell us more. Again, we did this, you and I. It was a great experience about more how we can take our entire business virtually, and it was more as well of a real experience for me to see us in action, actually conducting everything from A to Z through Zoom, through phone call, even the keys. I mean, we didn't even meet with the seller to get the keys. We put a lockbox over there. So everything was done really virtually without any contact. So can you tell us a little bit more and tell everybody about the way we did the Zoom presentation, which is to list how what kind of marketing we do, talking about us. Tell us more about how we did conduct that part of the presentation.
Well, I do believe the presentation itself didn't change much as far as the information that we were giving to the seller, because at the end of the day, we're still giving them all of the same information that we always give them, as far as the team, as far as marketing, all that stuff. So I don't think the information itself changed a lot. It was just a matter of making it happen through the Zoom meeting. I do believe, and it might sound a little, it's something that we don't realize, that I didn't realize actually till I was thinking about this meeting and thinking about what I wanted to talk about, is it was so much easier for me to reach out to the seller back when he wasn't my client, back when he was just a prospect that I knew, a client that needed some help. It was so much easier to reach out to him and ask him for a basically a live meeting, because he didn't have that inconvenience of not being able to do it because of work or because of kids or because of this and that. He was just like, oh yeah, well, I'm home all the time, so let's fit it in this schedule or this other schedule. And by the way, he actually told me, oh, I see that you guys are very creative and very resourceful. So by the time we joined on that Zoom meeting, not only did he already knew we were creative and resourceful, but he was comfortable. He was at home. He was chilling. He wasn't, in a 20-30 minute gap between like work and the kids or whatever. He had time for us, and I think that's something valuable.
That's awesome, man. Definitely. And just to add on that a little bit, if you don't have your presentation pretty much online, where you really can take your client from step to step about what you're gonna do to get the property sold, and about yourself, you're a little bit behind. I mean, you're really, for us, it was really easy to just make this shift. Because we already halfway through it. We have everything on the computer. Everything is online, and we did some meetings online before. Like I said, we did have the experience of conducting business without really have any any face-to-face meetings and conversation with our clients. So it was pretty awesome. And even the listing agreement, you can pretty much share the screen and show the seller, explain to them listing agreement. Pretty much, it's like as if you're sitting face to face with that person, and explaining exactly what you're going to do.
I think we showed everything, right, George? I mean, we went through the comps to help him be able to understand what his property's worth, to go through each picture of every single property. And of course, we also sent him all of this, the presentation, the comparables and everything, so he could keep that as well. And yeah, I believe, you were just talking about also the buyers. Just to be clear, we're not only doing this with the seller side, the buyer is the same exact situation. I just had a meeting with a young lady that's looking to purchase very soon. And last year, like George was saying, I did have a client that lives in New Jersey. Actually, she is continuing to be a client because we managed the property for her down again in Plantation, where I didn't meet her. I never met her, not even at the closing table. At the closing table, obviously she signed up there in New Jersey. And when I did the walkthrough, I just went with her sister. As a matter of fact, I took the closing picture with her sister.
Well, that's pretty awesome. I mean, at least it's a family member. It's not staged.
No, no, no.
So again, we just want to give you a quick idea about, again, I'll just jump into to pretty much finalize this. So the first step was to really get a time between us and the seller to talk the first time. The first Zoom meeting we did, it was more introducing the team, introducing what we do, speaking more about who we are, what we do, what kind of marketing we can do for the property. And we shared a very broad idea about the marketing and about the market value of properties in that area. The following day, we actually we did go to the property. We toured the property. And if you guys have us on Instagram, we posted the property on Instagram. It's actually coming soon. We were doing a preview for it. Anders and I went there. We didn't have to meet anybody. Pretty much, we walked through the property. We took some notes. We came back and we went on a second meeting with the seller that night on Zoom, and we discussed the property itself, what we can do for his property specifically, and we went through the entire listing agreement, and he signed that through. There's multiple online sign services like DocuSign and others. So we did everything pretty much from A to Z as a listing to go on the market online. Now, in terms of the marketing, just some quick tip, Andres, about what we're looking to, what we're really emphasizing on in today's market, and how we're kind of shifting attention, from pretty much, the marketing tools that we used to use before and emphasize on, that we're kind of discounting from that part and putting more effort into the digital world. So do you want to mention, a few ideas about, what's really our main focus in terms of marketing right now?
Yeah, so first of all, we always set it up by just letting them know that we're not going, like George said, we're not going to discount from the traditional flyers, from the traditional, all the traditional marketing that we're all used to seeing, because of course there are still out there buyers that work in that traditional setting. However, as time, as time passes, there are more and more buyers that look more for those, virtual tours of the property. Those, that was a huge thing for him, and he understood why. Because although, yes, there are many buyers that are still willing to look around, if a buyer can see a virtual tour of the entire property before getting out there, that can be very, very beneficial for them, especially his property, which, it is in a very good shape. Obviously, the pictures are another thing. What else? I'm not sure. I think those were the main things that we talked to him. Other than obviously, we obviously published the property all over Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, MLS. Get it out there, exposed anywhere that a buyer might be looking. They're going to find the property.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's more emphasis on the online marketing. As a matter of fact, as well, we saw some realtors who are not even showing their property if the owner is if it's owner occupied. They're going more towards the show it to you on a virtual tour first, or a video walkthrough, which again we used to do before, but we're putting more effort into those nowadays.
Another.
just to add as well, I mean, everything we're all the showings are scheduled online. All the we get feedback right away after showings. Uh, Pretty much, somebody will go to the property and do a cleanup. Pretty much, periodically, just to make sure everything is still sanitized. And beside that, everything is turning to be on virtually. Showings, discussing with
Open
realtors.
houses. That's another one that's coming more virtual, where a realtor would actually go to the property and have a virtual open house. So get on a live like this on Facebook, show the property around, and if there's any buyers interested, they of course promote to that live. That way, by the time the live comes around, if there's any buyers that want to look at something in particular of the property, they can literally just write in the comments, "Hey, can you take a second look around the kitchen? Can you go outside? Can I see what the neighborhood looks like?" That's kind of like the virtual open house that we absolutely are also using to let the seller know that we're also doing open houses. And I personally have done so many open houses before. I always ask anybody that comes into the property, "Hey, did you just see our signs and you just happen to drive by, or did you find our information on Zillow, Trulia, this type of websites?" And 8 out of 10, if not 9 out of 10, are always from online sources. So if these people are finding us on Zillow, Facebook, Instagram, wherever they're finding us, driving to the property to look at it, they're going to be able to simply find us on Facebook, know that we're going to do a live about that property on Saturday or Sunday or wherever, hop on the live, and they can see the property, as well, pretty much as if they would have been going to the property.
Absolutely. Uh, Absolutely. And, anything you want to add before we pretty much wrap it up here? And
Just, again, I have noticed that not only our job, as realtors have been, is being switching to more of a virtual, online type of situation, but also notaries. We just sent some paperwork up north to a couple sellers that are going to be closing within the next 3 or 4 days, and I believe the notary was over FaceTime. I think that's a new thing they're adding. The closing, I had a closing about 2 days ago, of some older clients actually that are purchasing a condo in Pompano Beach, and I'm sorry, in Dania Beach, and the meeting went, it changed a little bit as the traditional. There wasn't 5, 6, 7 people around the table. It was just basically the closer and themselves. They had the meeting outside, which was it was pretty cool. And everybody was wearing gloves, everybody was wearing mask, and it went pretty smooth. Actually, they said because of there was only 3 people instead of 7 or 8 people just having conversation, it went by much smoother and faster than usually. So
absolutely, absolutely. So we do hope at some point we're gonna get back to have the kind of the same interaction with socially as before. Uh, but definitely a lot of things has been changing and changed already. And what you just mentioned about the notary public, that's very important actually. As of January, you can, as a notary public, you can notarize documents through FaceTime. So we do believe this change has been really overdue in the market, especially when you're working with you know uh, clients from different states. You don't really have to wait till them coming down here, and they don't even have to come down here multiple times for them to actually purchase a property. Uh, a lot of video calls, a lot of videos that we actually are sending them, and when they find something they like and they negotiate the actual contract and they are set on the price, they're taking a flight down here. That was before, and I think this will definitely we're gonna see more people doing that. So if you're a realtor out there, or you're a broker, or you're doing anything in real estate, be prepared. Take this time. If you haven't been doing it so far before, take this time really to emphasize on your online presence, on your online techniques, and as well conducting business online. We've been seeing it before. We've been ready for it, and it was for us a very easy shift. I know, we got lucky and blessed to have it this way since day one, and we're just improving upon that. If you're someone who don't have uh, that privilege of having things online, just start doing that. People, I believe less people would want to meet with you in the future. I believe, it can be more of a challenging uh, way of conducting business in the beginning, but faster you adapt to it, it's actually I'm looking forward to see how it's going to end up being, because I do believe, and based on what we've already experienced, last week we got 2 listings like this, where, literally, we're just, sitting in our homes on a computer, wearing shorts and talking about business and getting listings signed and being able to assist clients. I mean, uh, I do like my suit, don't take me in the wrong way, but for the most part, it's just a different way of conducting business, which it is pretty exciting. So if you're worried or concerned about it, and you don't know how to handle things or which way to move from here on, you're more than welcome to actually reach out to my team and I, to Anvis, to me, to other team member on board with us at GK Realty Group, and ask. Well, we're here to help you. We really would love to see this industry improving, not just for us but for everybody. We would love to see more clients trusting realtors, more quality realtors, more realtors really assisting their client in the future. And I do believe now more than ever, our job as a real estate professional is extremely important. Uh, a lot of people were thinking that, with all the changes in the market and the way the industry is shifting, uh, we're actually in danger of pretty much going out of business because people don't need us anymore. Uh, God, I mean, this is a great proof that now more than ever, people need that middle professional person who can market their properties, who can assist them in getting these properties sold without having any contact with any other person. I mean, just take everything out of this and just keep the contact part between clients. That's really, it's emphasizing on the importance of our business. And I really would encourage everybody to really work on themselves, and in this time, work on their business. Don't really freak out over what's happening. It will pass, everything will be fine. Keep focused on your business, on improving yourself. I understand it's mission impossible. Believe me, my team and I would go on a call every morning at 7:30, still do it now. We've been in working from home more than 2 weeks now, and we haven't really missed. Uh, so stay focused, and really work on improving your abilities, and adapt new ways to be able to thrive in our new market. The market is changing. So whether we're ready or not, or you're ready or not, the market is going to change. So get ready, embrace the change, master it, and make the best out of it. And if you have any question, I will post, my phone number is 954-684-2205. You guys can reach out to me anytime or message me on Facebook, or you can do the same with Andres. Go ahead, Andres.
Yeah, my Instagram, I know a lot of people that feel a little bit more comfortable reaching out through Instagram, is Torrente_real estate. So if you want to reach out, if you have any questions, that's my Instagram, or you can reach out to me over the phone. My phone number is 954-696-5286. And just wanted to add that, yeah, everything that George just said, I definitely agree with everything you're saying about this transition. And I do believe if you don't have these tools already online, this is definitely a great moment to get them. And we can see this as a very positive thing that's happening, because after you get this done, the amount of people that we can help and the efficiency that we can have on this, it's tremendous. I mean, right before, I've had a couple of Zoom meetings with my clients. Usually when I meet them at the office 2, 3, 4 months ago, it did take a little bit of preparation of time, or me driving actually to a Starbucks 30-40 minutes away to meet them. That's, it's a lot of hours wasted, as opposed to the last few meetings that I've had literally sitting here at home. I 5-10 minutes before the meeting, I sit down here, I set up everything, and I'm good to go. I mean, the amount of hours that we can save and then use those hours to help more and more buyers and more sellers is tremendous. I think this is a great opportunity for us to really thrive.
Absolutely. You can be petting your dog and doing business. It's a great combination. All right, guys. God bless you all. I hope you all stay safe. And again, just keep positive, stay on track with your goals, and keep focused. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good one. Thanks for having me, George.
Of course, man.